You guys know the store Murray's Discount Auto Parts? Well, there's this thing called Murritizing. And that's when you buy performance parts from Murray's to make your car faster, but all they do is really ruin your gas mileage and make your car slower. So today, on this unforsaken truck, I'm going to show you guys how to unmurritize your ride.
Bring 'em out, hey. Bring 'em out, yeah. Bring 'em out, hey. Bring 'em out,
VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Most feds in the state wanna see my me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other rapper got a hit, but shouted he not out.
Hello again. Now the first thing we're going to do is remove the intake pipe here, which has been installed to increase the airflow into the motor, which therefore brings down your gas mileage. The second thing, right down here, there's a little spacer that goes in between the vehicle's intake and the vehicle's throttle body. That also does the same thing, creates more air going into the motor, which creates more gas, which brings down your gas mileage. So we're going to start off by removing this. These 2 clamps here, loosen these up. You don't need to take them all the way off, just get them loose. Then you should simply be able to pull the pipe and the grommet right off. Set those parts down. And then you're going to remove the cap here. Take the nut off. Set the nut up here. Remove your vacuum line. Very important part to remember to put back on when you're reinstalling. And remove that. Set that down with the other part. Now, there's 4 bolts here which hold the throttle body to the intake. Take your ratchet, the 1/2-inch socket, and remove these bolts. Break them all loose first. Don't do one at a time. And number 4. Second step you're going to need to do is grab the throttle body, pull up, use your other hand, grab the spacer. You might have to break it loose a little bit. Maybe give it a little budge with the ratchet. There it goes. And pull it right on out. Make sure there's a gasket on one side still, and the other gasket is still on the throttle body. Set it back down in place. Take the original bolts, which I have right here. Put them back in the original holes and tighten those on down. Make sure you get these tight here. By removing this, we're also going to have to make sure to reset the computer on the vehicle by disconnecting the battery for 10 to 15 minutes. So as soon as we get this in, we'll do that step. Almost got it. Then you're going to want to take your ratchet, not over tightening, slightly snugging the bolts back in. Go in a crisscross pattern to make sure you don't warp the throttle body. Tighten one side down slightly, tighten the other side down, and then snug them all. Go back over and make sure they're all good. Next step, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery here. Take the negative terminal off so there's not a chance of you grounding out the car and causing more damage. Once again, you're going to have to get a little snug to break it loose, and there we go. The last step we're going to have to do is take this guy, put it back on. Set the cap down, it will pop into place. Take your nut, tighten your nut up, This one only needs to be snug by hand. It doesn't need to be done with the wrench. Make sure it's nice and snug. A little bit more there. Reconnect your vacuum line. That's very important, or your vehicle is not going to run right. Then you're going to want to take your air intake system right here, the stock one, and put it back in. Goes down in around here, pops right down in place. There's a clamp right here, pushes right on the side. Then you're going to take your nut driver from earlier, pop this back on here where the old intake pipe used to go. You might have to loosen the clamp back up a little bit. Pop it on. Give it a nice little snug here. And that's all good. And in 5 to 10 minutes, all you need to redo is put your battery back on, and your car should be unmirrorized. Yeah, it worked. The gas mileage has improved incredibly. We're driving a lot harder than I usually drive the truck. So therefore, I call this mission accomplished. Crazy stuff and trying to kill us with all this salt here, but my truck, it did not be affected by this here.